morning, everybody. Welcome to yet another session of MS Talks. Today, we are going to be talking about a very interesting initiative that we at MS Events are organizing called the Arab Green Summit. The Arab Green Summit brings together the stakeholders across the Arab region to discuss, discover, and map out the latest practices and creative solutions, while serving as a platform for climate champions to discuss, innovate, collaborate, and set the path for climate action through mitigation and adaptation. Joining us today, we have a very prominent personality who has undertaken a number of pioneering initiatives in the space of sustainability and climate action. His Excellency Yousif Ali is the Assistant Undersecretary for Water, Electricity, and Future Energy Affairs with the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure. Through his role in the ministry, he is leading the development of strategies and policies for the electricity and water sector at the federal level and coordinates the sector's efforts to achieve the UAE's 2050 energy vision. EngYousif serves as a member in the board of directors for the Federal Nuclear Regulation Authority and many other national and international companies. A UAE national with over 18 years of outstanding renewable energy and petrochemical industries experience in master clean energy. Along with His Excellency, we have Dr. Jagannathan Ramaswamy, who is our conference chairman. He is a well-known face in the industry as an expert on energy, sustainability, and climate action, and has over 25 years of professional experience in this domain. We are delighted to have His Excellency join us for today's session to share his invaluable insights on the topic of climate change and sustainability. Thank you for joining us. Over to you, Dr. Jagan.
Thank you so much, Pritka. Your Excellency, it's a pleasure having you, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for hosting me today.
It's a pleasure. And to begin with, I would like to start by an important question. A major announcement UAE prior to COP26 was its plan to reach net zero by 2050. This is an extremely forward-looking decision, given that UAE is the first in the region to do so. And we are extremely pleased to be a part of this journey, and we are excited as well. As a ministry that has an overarching role in this energy, how do you see this initiative from the UAE leadership for UAE and for the wider MENA region?
Thank you, Doctor, for this question. And before answering the question, I need first to start with giving background about the UAE efforts when it comes to climate change and the reduction of carbon footprint. In fact, UAE is one of the first countries that started the journey to reduce the carbon footprint. I'm not talking about the last 1 or 2 decades. I'm talking about many years back when the UAE decided to reduce and to eliminate the emissions of gases and burning of gases, flaring, eliminating flaring. UAE followed a program that ended to have one of the lowest oil and gas industries when it comes to carbon footprint. This is our legacy. Besides that, we are also proud to be one of the first countries in this part of the world to announce ambitious renewable energy programs starting from 2006 and 2007 with the establishment of Abu Dhabi Future Energy Company, Masdar. And we were successful in implementing these projects over the last years. Today, we stand on almost 6 gigawatts of solar energy and almost another 6 gigawatts of clean nuclear energy. This puts UAE in the forefront when it comes to clean energy production. So we have a long legacy and history that is full with achievement when it comes to reduction of carbon footprint. Last year, we announced our strategic initiative to achieve net zero by 2050, building on what we implemented over the last many years. So with this achievement, we started looking at different tracks and analyzing the different industries, analyzing our transportation sector, analyzing our aviation sector, analyzing our agriculture sector, industries, to find solutions on how we can reduce our carbon footprint. UAE is open to all possible technologies that make economical sense, that make technical sense. UAE is well known for being a house or place to pilot many of these innovative projects. So we are working among the different stakeholders in the country, public sector and private sector, and we will put together a clear plan that will take us gradually toward our target to achieve net zero by 2050.
Oh, so nice to hear the legacy and a very deep background. And it's not that it has just come out, but there's a lot of thought that has gone into the overall strategy. Your Excellency, I would like to move to the subject of the net zero from the point of view of commitment to the point of view of delivery or actual implementation. MOEI as a federal nodal entity in the energy space, it has got most of the vital sectors as integrated as part of it. You have the power sector or the energy sector, you have the transportation, infrastructure. Of course, when it comes to delivery, Ministry of Climate Change does have the task of leading and coordinating efforts. But for Ministry of Energy, it's a huge task or accountability and responsibility from the point of view of policies, regulations, strategies, and the programs. So as one of the key members, how do you find this? How do you see this? Are you expecting any barriers, or it will be good to know your thoughts on this huge responsibility that is in front of you?
Doctor, the good thing, we are blessed here in the UAE that all of us, different stakeholders, whether at the federal level or at the local level, all of us share the same ambition. All of us are working toward the same target. So with the different sectors that we are managing in the ministry, we are getting all the support from the relevant stakeholders. So UAE is well known for having many champions. So when we speak about renewable energy and the implementation of the ambitious renewable energy program, so we have DEWA, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, that implemented ambitious, successful program in Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park that include different technologies, include solar PV, include CSP, include testing batteries, different technologies. We have also another heroes. We have Abu Dhabi Future Energy Company, Masdar, that was successful in implementing many projects across the globe and also in the UAE. We also have Taqa, that implemented mega projects like Sueham project, almost 1.5 gigawatt, and a Dhafra project, one of the biggest projects in the world. So we have many champions, and we work together as in a synergized way in order to achieve the targets of the UAE. This also applies on the other sector, in the transportation sectors. Also, we have the same champions that work together on implementing new practices, new solutions, innovation, different parts, different things that put together and help us to achieve the targets we want.
In fact, it's so great to hear the voice of confidence and strategy from your end. Thank you so much for your response. Now, I'm moving to a strategy or energy strategy. We know UAE had an energy strategy in place that planned to have 50% of its power mix through renewable energy, through a combination of solar PV, nuclear, clean coal, and gas. Now, with this net zero strategy, it's like the strategy or the vision is doubled now. Like, it's no longer any other combination. It's going to be purely, predominantly renewable energy with the net zero. So how do you find this net zero strategy aligning with the energy mix, and what would be your thoughts on that?
Doctor, just one comment before we proceed to answer this question. I want also to highlight, beside the local stakeholders we have in the UAE, we also count on our strategic relationships, international partners that are supporting us in implementing our ambitious clean energy program. So we are really happy and pleased to have these successful partnerships like the alliance we have with the Germans, Emirati-German partnership, the cooperation we have with the Japanese and other nations. This also helps us to give, to really understand and learn from successful programs that were implemented before. Yes, going to the clean energy, to the national energy strategy that we launched in 2017. So when we developed the strategy, we put in mind different important parameters. So starting with energy security, so security and reliability of our electricity supplies and generation is crucial and important for our economy. The second parameter is the affordability. So we need to provide electricity at low cost. The third parameter, and one of the most important parameters, is the environmental impact. So we had in our analysis and on how we ended up with our energy mix, we put the three parameters together. And that's how we ended with 50% clean energy by 2050. Today, with the new target, with the new ambition to reach net zero by 2050, we have to again revise our national energy strategy.
True.
So, you know, it's not necessarily that the clean energy part will be 100%. Of course, we have wealth of natural gas here in the country. We're blessed with these resources, and we have to use these resources. However, we will try to use these resources in the best way possible to reduce our carbon footprint. So we are working on the development of the most efficient gas combined cycle plants to reduce the carbon footprints. And we are also considering different technologies that we hope will become economical by in the next few years, in order to continue doing the business of power generation without any carbon, without any impact on the environment. And one of the technologies that we count on is the carbon capture technologies. So if we are able to be very efficient in our electricity generation using gas, and then we are able to capture whatever CO2 that will get emitted and store it in a safe manner, then we can really continue our operation and achieve our net zero target. Besides that, in the Ministry of Energy, together with our stakeholders, we are also working on studying the possibilities for using green hydrogen and blue hydrogen. Hydrogen is another way to get rid of carbon dioxide. So you have different ways. You have post-combustion, you have pre-combustion, different ways to deal with the CO2. So we'll study all these options. Besides that, of course, having in mind the net zero target, of course, we'll try to expand further on our clean energy plans, programs. This is natural. We face certain challenges when it comes to the adaptation of photovoltaic energy, of course, because it is intermittent source of energy. And with the intermittent source of energy, technology of storage need to develop. So we know that batteries prices are going down so rapidly, but it's still not at the level where it should be competitive. Hydrogen can be another way to store energy, but still the price need to go down. The price is much higher today and need to go down. We have also other ways that we are studying, piloting, and considering for our future needs, like hydropower. Hydropower, I mean, storing solar energy in the form of hydropower. We are implementing one of the first projects in this region, HETA project for the storage of electricity. We are working on different elements. You will see us doing different projects, piloting projects, all together help to achieve our target. You may hear about the first biogas project that we have here in the UAE. You may hear about the biggest, the most important programs for waste to energy, not in planning, but in construction. I would say late stage of construction. In Sharjah, 300,000 ton that will deal with 300,000 ton. And then we have a massive program also in Dubai under construction. And we have also in the pipeline projects to come in Abu Dhabi. So it's a comprehensive plan that we are working on. So definitely in the revised energy strategy, you will find different elements, and all of these elements, inshallah, will help us to be closer toward our target for net zero by 2050.
Wow, I should really admit you have your fingers on the pulse when it comes to energy transition. You talked of emerging technologies such as carbon capture storage, and then you talked of international collaboration, batteries, and hydropower. Quite interesting to hear that. In fact, my next question is going to be covering a part of that. The magic fuel, as I would like to call, in the last at least couple of years have been hydrogen and green hydrogen. Now it's a talk of the town globally, and people are considering that as a real fuel for energy transition. And in that regard, I know that I'm aware that MOA formed a strategic task force with Germany, and in order to explore the possibility of green hydrogen as an energy transition fuel. Of course, it's a deep project, but we would like to hear a few thoughts from your Excellency on that.
I think personally, I really believe that green hydrogen is going to be the fuel of one of the fuels for the future, the green hydrogen. And I think as global community, all of us will be able to make it, will be able to take the price down and make it competitive. But this is going to take a long time. That's why we need really to manage our energy transition in a wise way. So during this transition period, I think it will be very important that we continue investing in sources that have lower carbon footprint, like gas reserves, using efficient combined gas plants. This is one way for managing the transition, because producing electricity today from gas has very low carbon footprint. I think we're talking about 0.3 to 0.4 maximum tons of CO2 per megawatt hour versus almost one ton of CO2 for 1 megawatt hour for coal. So, to support these kind of fuel of efficient projects is crucial. The other thing that we need to work on it also during this transition, the blue hydrogen, the potential of blue hydrogen. Blue hydrogen still today, of course, more expensive compared to normal fuel gas, because it comes from from methane, but still really it makes sense economically and technically that we also encourage the use of blue hydrogen during this transition period and until the green hydrogen becomes affordable. Here in the UAE, we analyze all these technologies, all the potential when it comes around hydrogen, blue hydrogen. In fact, we started the production of blue hydrogen. ADNOC announced a few shipments of blue hydrogen and have very ambitious plans when it comes to the production of blue hydrogen. At the same time, we're also analyzing closely the potential with green hydrogen. The right word, we are implementing green hydrogen projects, not only analyzing. We actually commissioned the first hydrogen project in Dubai, in Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park, that produces green hydrogen, and will be testing this hydrogen mainly for transportation purposes. And we are also collaborating with our partners in Germany, companies from Germany, Siemens, Lufthansa, and the government of Germany. Also, we have Japanese partners to kick off also a major project here in Abu Dhabi, in Masdar city. So all these information together will allow us to have a better understanding and have a clear plan, clear way forward on how we are going to tackle the issue of green hydrogen. The idea is to push the green hydrogen price down. We need to be competitive, because if it's not competitive, the use of hydrogen will not expand. It's a the climate change is a global issue. So unless we all started, on this journey, started reducing our carbon footprint, it will not work. So we need to manage the transition very smoothly. We need to encourage everybody to go through this transition. So if green means like green hydrogen is not practical now, we at least go for natural gas. We at least go for blue hydrogen. All this will help us to manage the transition wisely and reduce the carbon footprint.
You raised a very valid statement. It should be, in fact, golden words. Climate change is a global issue and everyone should be a part of it. And that brings me to the next question about the Arab Green Summit, where we would like to play our part. As you would have noticed from the structure that it has got, it's trying to bring in an active, genuine participation from all the sectors that are contributing to net zero. And you would also notice that there are topics on ESG, sustainable finance, green investment, together with other topics of core sectors. Now, from your point of view, how do you think an initiative or the Arab Green Summit, to which we all belong, could play a part or work alongside forward-looking ministries such as yours to help UAE transition to net zero? What's your views on that?
Doctor, as I mentioned earlier, we really encourage and we really benefit from these gatherings because it's really put us in touch with the different players in the market, whether technology players, academia, companies that does development, leaders that have vision about how things will progress in future. So all these venues really, and this venue specifically, will help us to get in touch with these key players, and we can together work on revising our strategies and learning from each other to combat the same challenge that we all have. So I think, thank you very much for organizing the event, but I think it will be beneficial for everybody to get together and discuss the challenges that we face.
Thank you so much for the encouraging words. Then I would leave with one last question, which is again a very exciting one. The exciting news after COP26 was the fact that UAE is going to be hosting COP28. It's a very aspirational news, and it's going to bring in a lot of excitement and involvement from all of us. From the Arab Green Summit point of view, we want to play a very significant role in building the capacity and helping wherever we can within our skills to help UAE deliver a perfect COP28. As a key ministry, what would be your advice to us in order to help UAE in this journey? We are more than willing to have your words of advice.
Thank you very much. I think UAE did a lot when it comes to climate change and to sustainability over the last many years. And choosing UAE to host COP28 is a recognition of all these efforts, and also it gives a perfect example for all nations how energy transition can be managed. Being an oil and gas country, and we still committed to go through energy transition and committed to reduce our carbon footprint. This is itself an example for all the countries many countries that can follow. In UAE itself, you can see it's a hub. You can see the different technologies, the different innovations in the industries, starting with a massive solar project with the lowest carbon footprint, going to waste to energy projects, biogas, the nuclear, clean energy. So you have all this diversity that can really be shown in the UAE and in COP28. We still have less than 2 years ahead. I think less than 2 years. So it will be in November 2023. As government of UAE, now we are assembling our teams. Our teams will really put the high-level plan on the different tracks that we will be working on for the preparation of COP28. Of course, as usual, UAE promised everybody that will be an exciting COP, and it will have wealth of information, wealth of, let's say, practical solutions that can be followed and can be used and can be debated during COP28. And as usual, UAE is blessed with the partners that we have, with the international partners that we have, companies, countries at all levels. This is what helps us in the UAE to succeed. And of course, your contribution will be really valuable for us. And really eager, and we look forward to having you supporting us in this journey. So in COP28 itself, and also in the preparations part ahead of COP28.
Your Excellency, thank you so much once again for your highly encouraging words. It really peps us up, and we are more than willing to. It will be an honor to work with you in any way, any possible means. Your Excellency, thanks once again for your time, and it was a pleasure speaking to you. Have a very good day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for the extremely insightful discussions. A very special thank you to His Excellency for taking out time for his very busy schedule to share his invaluable insights with all of us. I'm sure everybody watching has enjoyed this session immensely, and we are very proud to be living in the UAE and call it our home. And we definitely look forward to support the initiatives of the country wholeheartedly. Thank you. See everybody at the Arab Green Summit.